Yeah, ready to go. Hello, Connor. How are you?
How you doing? Not too bad.
I'm just wondering. You've been stopping and starting a bit now, Connor, with these postponed games. How hard is that to fit in when you would really prefer to be playing every week, or at least getting ready to play in a game every week?
Well, I think we're used to it by now, from last season as well, as far as games being cancelled and stuff. We almost sometimes, if the match is called off the weekend, a bit of a rest, then going into the next week and can help teams when they're in a big block. But at the moment, we just keep training as if there's going to be a game of the weekend. I don't think it's affecting us really as a team and performances either. I think we're getting as much work as we can possibly do during the week, and then if the match doesn't go ahead, look, that's the nature of playing in times like this, and we've been pretty good at coming in next week, ready to train, ready to get on to the next challenge.
The win against Munster was a really proper, hard-fought scrap of a game, but there must have been a sense of satisfaction for Connacht to come out on the right side of a tight one like that.
Yeah, look, 100%. Them games are always going to be physical. All the interpros, they play are physical. That one in particular had a bit more bite to it. I think, as most people have seen and stuff. And to come out the right end of a game like that, such a physical game, when some people may think that we might not have that in our locker, but it was great to show people that, look, we can play a nice brand of rugby, but also when we need to roll our sleeves up, we can do that as well.
The defensive stand before half time, you must have gone into the dressing room with that feeling that was a seminal moment, because that was hard. That was really hard work, physically and mentally, just to keep the discipline in the defense.
Yeah, look, 100%. And I know from being on the other side of those kind of last ditch efforts to get a try in the last half, like, it is deflating if you don't get it, and even more inflating when we get that penalty, So look, I think that kind of show people that, look, we're there. We're not just going to roll over. We're in this game, and we're a physical team when we need to be. So yeah, it was a good way to finish off the half and give us an extra bit of boost going into the second half.
Looking at your own game this season, you've got a different coaching structure. The Deval Senecal, you've got some different ideas coming in, but your own game seems more settled. You seem to be a more integrated part of the team now on a week by week basis. How are you enjoying your rugby?
Yeah, look, I'm loving at the moment. I think that's why I'm performing as well. I think when anyone enjoys something, you're going to perform better. Look, I like the way we play. I feel it does suit me. Maybe last season I wasn't performing to the level I knew I could or I wanted to, and I feel like I've been here long enough now, and I'm understanding the way we want to play rugby, and I think I'm fitting in well into that kind of brand.
And has the whole team had to work really hard on fitness to keep this high pace rugby? Is that a part of the thing that we probably don't see or hear about, as well as the actual skill sets?
Yeah, look, obviously the pre-season is when you get the most of that kind of foundation down in fitness. But look, every time we're running or something, like 80% of the time we have a ball in our hand. Like, that's the difference I found now. Like, we're not running aimlessly just to kind of be stats. We're running. We've conditioned games. Everything's based around skills, handling the ball while under fatigue, and I think that's why we can play that. We can keep playing that brand of rugby up to 80 minutes in a game, even when we're out on our feet, because we've been there, and we've been even in a darker place in training, because that's the way the S&C here have structured it. They're really well communicated with the coaches, and we know exactly what we need to get out of the sessions.
I just looking at the way you're playing, talking about skills, do you think your role within the team has changed, or is it a role now that more suits the way you want to play?
I don't think it's a change. It's changed. I feel as if I've maybe just been more sure of my role in the team, and it suits the way I like to play. I like to play this kind of brand of running rugby as well. I enjoy it a lot, and getting my hands on the ball and getting to carry it more. I think most players will say that that's more enjoyable. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
And finally, just looking ahead, Leicester on Saturday, they've just lost their unbeaten record. Connacht had a real good rattle at them in Welford Road. I suppose you're expecting it'll be the same sort of game as we saw over there. I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. But so we expect, we know it's coming. We're over there. We feel like we should have won that game, and we felt like we weren't at our best when we were over there. So look, we're confident going into this weekend that we can win this game, and we feel we have the right game plan to win it. And look, we know what's coming, and we welcome it with open arms.
Conor, good to talk to you. Good luck on Saturday. We're looking forward to it. That's me out. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Thanks, William. Anyone else for live?
Conor, hi, it's Michael Corcoran from RTE here. I'm just wondering what lessons as a squad you've learned from that defeat in Leicester last time in Welford Road, and it seemed that you sort of improved quite a good bit in that for the Munster match. Is that a sign of, like, did you take enough on a confidence from that game?
From the Munster game, yeah, the learnings from the Leicester game, where look, it's an 80-minute game. We maybe fell off in the last 20 minutes. It's not a secret that we struggled with the scrum when they came on. We've worked a lot around that, and we've took learnings out of it. And like as you said, going into Munster, I think we showed that look, we're going to play for 80 minutes now. Like we can't afford these kind of lapses in concentration to let other teams in. And we've shown that we can play with like, people almost sometimes say bigger teams and that, this and that, but look, we've shown we can stand up to the best teams in this competition, and we take confidence. We take a massive confidence out of that. Yeah.
Have you spoken as a group about discipline? I don't mean discipline you individually, or just collectively as a squad. You see how crucial it is.
Yeah.
The better teams that you play, the more you're going to be caught on the scoreboard if somebody's gone off to a yellow card or something.
Yeah, massively. Look, that's one kind of main point we've tried to bring into most games, like most teams would, especially with territory teams like Munster and Leicester, giving away penalties is giving them access into our half, and we know that. So that has been a massive and main kind of overlying point in this week's preparation.
Cheers, have a good one at the weekend.
Appreciate it.
Hey guys, we'll go to embargo till tomorrow morning then, and we'll open the floor.
Conor, how are you doing? Just two things. What's your read on Leicester having lost that magnificent run? Does that make them, is there a danger of backlash, or is it just shows that they are beatable?
I think a bit of both, to be honest. Like I watched the game in the weekend. It probably wasn't the prettiest wins, but look, it shows that they are vulnerable in parts of their game. So look, we're expecting a big performance out of them coming over here. Every team that loses an unbeaten run is going to want to regain it back, So look, we know what we're expecting, and we're ready.
And you've had a week up, but what's the mood like in the camp this week? Because it's a pretty pivotal match. If you win this, you're very much in control of your own destiny then for a first time knockout place. Look,
it's exciting. Everyone's excited for this game. Like European weeks they're just different. They're different gravy compared to like UFC is great competition, but European weeks, these are the games that everyone wants to be playing and everyone wants to be performing in. Like, we're not shying away from the fact we want to be the first Connacht team to get out of the group stages and get into playoffs. We know that, we've talked about this, and that's a massive aim for us as a squad. And I think it's a great driver for the lads training this week and stuff, and it's putting their best foot forward.
And finally, you're having a great season. Irish ambitions, any word from Andy Farrell? Where?
No, nothing yet. Look, that's always been the ambition, playing rugby from a young lad. That's always the goal, So look, I'm keeping my head down. I'm just gonna keep playing as well as I can, and whatever happens with that type of stuff, I'm really happy with how I'm playing with Connacht. I'm really happy in Connacht. So that's all I'm trying to focus on now, and keep putting in performances for the team.
Best of luck, Conor. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Conor. How are you doing?
How you doing?
You mentioned there earlier to William that you're probably enjoying your rugby a lot more this year compared to last year. Was there something in particular about last year why you weren't really enjoying it more?
Not particularly. Maybe just there's a different brand of rugby as you used to for the last few years. I played previously in Munster, and there's maybe just a bit of adaptation on my part to go out there and just kind of play with a bit more confidence. I said it at the start of this season as well. I feel the coaches are giving me a lot of confidence to go and kind of express myself and do things I want to do on the pitch. And I feel as if not have a free reign, but it's a lot more expansive than I maybe was used to back in Munster.
And then, like, your form has probably really kicked on even since we last spoke to you a bit earlier in the season, over these last couple of months. Is there anything you've done this season, maybe in the off season, like adding weight, changing your approach to matches, preparation? Have you done anything differently in the last year that you're getting the rewards from?
Mainly probably been mental preparation for me has been something that I've worked on a lot more this season. Keeping kind of like a small training journal and stuff like that. I feel like that's maybe one thing that could have helped confidence going into games, and kind of reassurance that you're ready to play that match. So that's one thing. We had a guy, Jack Burkwhistle, the Australian guy, came over, helped us with kind of mental preparation and stuff. He was here last season as well, so I worked close enough for him, and I found that that's maybe been something that I had lacked or didn't really pay enough attention to maybe last season and the previous ones.
And then the last one for me, it's always a difficult one to answer, but what would you say is your, I suppose, point of difference between another player? Like, what's the strengths of your game that you really are proud of and like to kind of focus on and make a point of difference?
One thing probably be work rate and stuff like that. Like I'd like to think like I'm a very, very high work rate player. I can play for 80 minutes easily. I don't feel like I get too fatigued. And then this season, I'm pretty happy with how I'm carrying the ball. I'm getting good yards on my carries and stuff, and successful carries. And look, I'm getting a lot of carries, which probably helps the stats go up a bit. If you have 10 carries and 6 of them are good, it's going to be a decent enough stat, you know. So that's something that maybe I feel this season has been better than previous.
Lovely. Cheers, Connor. Good luck to the weekend.
Thanks.
Hi, Connor. Ashling here from Off the Ball. How are you?
How you doing? Not too bad.
Good. I was just going to ask about your form as well and what individual work you've been doing. You mentioned there mental preparation. What do you mean by that?
So like it's kind of the way it works for me is I'd have a checklist of things that I want to get done during the week that are gonna have me ready for the weekend. If that's kind of extra stuff like say tackles or like carries and stuff like that. We've great coaches here that stay after the session and look at and they set up different drills, and whatever you need to get done, you can get done. So for me, if I have say 5 things I need to get done during the week, like on top of our team training, if I've that checklist checked off, I know for a fact on the weekend that I'm ready to play, and I've done everything in the week that's prepared me to play.
Absolutely. And just for Connacht pushing on now, how important is it to keep building on every game and get a win and get a good performance, that there's consistency?
Like it's huge. Look, that's something that's been questioned about Connacht on multiple occasions, consistency. And I feel we are getting that now. We have a great squad of players here. It's really exciting for us. We're getting better depth. So look, back-to-back wins, big wins, is massive for us, for confidence for the squad, and even just for Connacht as a club. I think it's shown other clubs that look, we're ready to take the next step into the top level, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. When you got that win over Munster, you could really see what it meant to all of you on the pitch and to the fans as well.
Yeah, look, that's massive thing. It's very I love the sports ground and stuff like that. Like the fan, I know it's not the biggest place in the world, but look, we get a massive shown out in these games, and it's great seeing when win what it does for the people of Connacht as well. Like the smiles on people's faces and stuff, like they don't go unnoticed as players. So yeah, as a club and as a community as well, I think it uplifts everyone.
Brilliant, Connor. Thank you.
Cheers.
Let's go, Derek, trying to get in. Okay, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks very much. We'll be back to you with Andy in 2 minutes.
Cheers, Connor.
Thanks, Connor. Appreciate it.
Hi, folks. Andy will be up here in just 1 minute. Here he is now. Derek, just on that, I have a message here saying ask to unmute, so I've pressed on that. So you might just have to do something on your side to unmute yourself. But I've clicked the ask to unmute button, whatever that is. So hopefully you're able to unmute on your side. Cool. I'll be with you with Andy in 1 second. All right, folks, we will get started there.
Apologies, guys. Just got caught.
Andy, good morning. How are you?
Good, William. How are you?
I'm all right now. I'm just wondering, I asked the same question of who was up first? Connor. Connor Oliver. How difficult, I know you've been at this for 2 seasons, 3 seasons, they stopping and starting, but when you've had a game like Munster and then everything grinds to a halt again, you knew you weren't playing the Stormers. How difficult is it just to keep everybody focused and going forward?
Yeah, as you said, we've been at it for nearly 2 years now, William. So I'm not going to say we're used to it, but we're able to adapt, and we're able to find a way to keep ourselves going. So it's not ideal, but nor are a lot of things at the moment. But listen, we had a Monday, Tuesday off. We came in and we trained very well last Wednesday. We had Thursday off. We trained very well on the Friday. We had the weekend off, and we've come in, hit the ground running yesterday, and a really good session there today. So I don't think it's upset us at all. I know it hasn't upset us at all. The boys are in a good headspace and looking forward to Saturday.
How is this a season-defining game in some ways? Because it gives you, if you win, it gives you control of where you are in Europe, and it would be a first to get into the knockout stages, and you'd still do it with potentially a game in hand. So it's building up to this. It's a pressure point game.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's season defining. If we win, it'll be a massive boost for what it is we want to achieve, which is to get out of those out of the pool stages and into knockout. If we're not to win, well, we'll see how the game unfolds and what areas did it not happen in. But we're of the belief that we can win this game. That's our intention, to go and win it. And if we do, we'll deal with whatever comes after that.
Should you have won in Welford Road?
If you'd asked me at the 49th minute, I would have said, yeah, we're in control here. At the 50th minute, when they brought on their 3 front rowers, and the timing of that for them, I thought it was a very clever substitution at the time. Yeah, that changed things for us. They got that scrum penalty into the corner. We gave away a penalty off the line out, and you know, the rest is history. On went the repeated scrums under the sticks, yellow card, and very, very hard to play against anybody, let alone Leicester Tigers at Welford Road with 14 men. So I'll tell you what, I was pleased. So I don't think, you know, upon reflection, they were the better team on the day because they dealt with those pressure points better. I was really, really pleased and proud of the fact that we got the bonus point, which has kept us alive. And now we welcome them on Saturday.
They've just lost their unbeaten record. They were struggling a little bit to keep it going, but it went on Sunday. Is that a positive or a negative, do you think, for how they might set up for in the game, or do you just pass that over? It's their problem. Yeah,
that's theirs, mate. That, you know, whatever team turns up will be what will turn up. You know, they're a proud outfit. You can see the way they play. I actually thought at the end of that game they were very unlucky not to get a penalty try. If not, when Ben Youngs went over, I thought that was, I I thought he probably played it through the mark. So they're probably unlucky to lose that as well. So listen, we know Leicester Tigers big ambitions in Europe. So we know what's coming here on Saturday, and we're ready for that.
How are you lining up? The injury situation seems pretty good, although Mac Hansen not available. He's the sort of guy that can turn a game in a second. But everybody else there, you're must be competitive at training.
Yeah, it's really competitive. And it makes selection very difficult because I honestly feel that we've got, 2 lots of, if not more, or doubles in every position, if not more, that could definitely do a job for us. So when we do select that team, there's a lot of frustration and anguish about the blokes who've missed out. But yeah, we've got a pretty clean bill of health at the moment, William. So we're in a good space as a squad, which is good at this stage of the year. So that's probably the only plus coming out of all the weekends off. You get a chance to recover and recoup. But we're in a good space on that front, mate.
What have you got to change then from Welford Road or other hard games? I mean, the Munster game must give you a feeling that they kind of toughed it out in that game, which is something they've been accused of in the past of failing to do that. So is that something you have to drag into this game? Because it could be a very similar affair.
Oh, listen, it will be very similar. They play a very similar game style, Leicester, as do Munster. So there's a lot of contestable kicking. There's a big pack coming at you from scrum and from maul. Like to win penalties, either kick 3 points or kick into the corner. So very, very similar on that front. We need to play us. We need just to be us. So we need to be better in our set piece in terms of our scrum. We got caught last time not chasing our weight after the hit. So we've got to make sure we do that and not give them easy go forward ball there on the scrum. But I do believe we've got a pack that can do that for us. I think our bench is going to be really important this week. But again, we then just need to go back and play our brand of rugby, and I think if we can do that, we'll cause some headaches. And
for players looking for Ireland selection, I'm thinking Finlay Balaam, Jack Carty. There's a few guys there. Big game here. These games are going to be watched because if you're not playing every weekend, when you get the chance, you want the Irish coaches to be seeing good stuff.
Yeah, I think what's important. You want to be in that 23. You want to be, if you're not starting, you want to be coming off the bench and having an impact. How we use the 23 is going to be really important to us. But yeah, I think we've got a chunk of blokes who are putting up their hand, and definitely this game will be a big tester for them to see whether they can repeat the performances they've been putting out there. Kieran Marmie and Jack Carty, Finlay Beale and Dave Heffernan, Keane Prendergast. We've had a chunk of blokes who have been playing Bundy really good rugby. And what's important is that they bring that on Saturday as well, 3:15 here against Leicester.
Well, we're looking forward to it. It should be a cracker. Thanks for your time. We'll talk again soon.
Cheers, William.
Thanks, William. Anyone else for life?
Yeah. Hi, Andy. How are you? Aisling here from Off the Ball.
Hey, Aisling.
Hi. So what has the morale been like in the camp since you had that win to Munster?
Yeah, it's been really positive. It's been really positive for the last month or so, and the boys are in a good headspace. We've had a Christmas where we probably got an extended Christmas given the Ulster postponement, but a good win against Munster. Week off, and now into Europe. Everyone's in a good space. Excited about the weekend, and we've got a lot of blokes, as I said before, who'll be disappointed not being involved, but their input into the week is still so important. And we just come off a field there where they were fantastic and put the starting 15-23 under real pressure, which is what we needed.
How tough is that for you as a coach? Sometimes when you're having those tough conversations with lads who haven't made it.
That's the hardest part of the job, without a doubt, is letting blokes know that they're not involved. And they always, they often don't see the same thing that we see, which is fine. They're entitled to be upset. They're entitled to be frustrated. My message is just respect the decision. The decision's made for many, many reasons, but it doesn't mean we think you're a bad footballer. It just means for this weekend, we've gone with somebody else. So I think they're getting better at that, but it isn't easy. I understand that.
Yeah, definitely not. And last time out against Leicester, he's put in a really good performance. how can you improve on that, I suppose, to get over the line now?
Yeah, well, I think we've got to take the positive elements out of that, where we did cause some trouble, whether it was off our line speed in defence or whether it was our consistency in our kicking game and dealing with their kicking game, whether it was with our attack and the way we attacked. But again, you know what's coming. You've got a Leicester Tigers who there's a reason that they've only lost one game this year and probably shouldn't have lost that either in watching the game. But credit to Wasps, they managed to hold them out for 80 minutes. So yeah, we've got to be us. We've got to be better at being us, and if we can do that, I think we can hurt them.
And it'll be massive if you can get back-to-back wins just to have that consistency.
Yeah, that's been levelled at us. Well, since I've been here, the last 3.5 years has been, can you consistently win? Well, yeah. This is always a really tough period for us through Christmas, into pros, into Europe beforehand. But I believe that what we're currently putting out there is probably the best that it has been since I've been here, and another big test for us on Saturday.
Brilliant, Andy. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley.
Okay, guys, going to embargo till tomorrow morning.
Andy, how are you doing? It's John here. I know you don't want to big it up into something that it's not either, but at the same time, you won your home match in this competition. You picked up a bonus point away. It's the first time ever Connacht have got into their second last match in the Champions Cup, still alive. So it is a big match in the context of Connacht. Could leave you just needing, if you get the result in this, a bonus point in Paris might be enough. So me bigging it up, but it is a big game for Connacht, isn't it?
Oh, it's a huge game. Yeah, Europe is, it's the ultimate stage for the clubs in Europe, and so we put ourselves in a good position, but it means nothing if we don't perform well on Saturday and hopefully pick up that win, John, which is what our intention is, and we'll be doing everything in our power to make sure we do that.
Yeah, and I know you're saying you're covering all positions, but having somebody like Jack Carty, your playmaker, in the form he's in, having him available, this sort of a thing, that's a big boost. Yeah,
Jack's been outstanding this year, as we've all seen. I think that the 9-10 combination of Kieran and Jack has been very special this year, and that's a tough one for a bloke like Caelan Blade, who last year was probably one of our form players. So Caelan's back and available for us this weekend as well. But Kieran and Jack, they're going great, and having them available with Bundy just sitting outside them, that makes it a pretty balanced and at the moment a well-oiled 9-10-12.
Yeah, and obviously the other offset of that, Mac Hansen not available. We haven't seen him in Europe yet, as far as I can recall. So it'd be important to have him available for next week as well, if possible. Yeah, ideally, mate. He's, as we all know, he's been pretty special for us this year, but he's just picked up a little niggle, and that'll rule him out of this weekend, which is a shame for him. But plenty more games to come this year. And finally, for me, I mean, Leicester won't fancy coming to the sports ground. How can you make it uncomfortable for them? Supporters, I know the limited crowd, but they have a role to play in this, don't they? Yeah, they always do, and they're always, that they are great for us. They make life uncomfortable for the opposition, but it's up to us to do that more than the supporters. I think the supporters, their voice really lifts when we're playing well, and if we're showing our intent in defence as we did against Munster, if we're showing our intent in attack with the ball as we have done throughout the season, that will bring their voice, which will make it even more uncomfortable for Leicester. So if they're not shouting, John, it's because we're not playing well. So we've got to make sure we're playing well. Fair enough. Best of luck to you, Andy. Thank you.
Hi, Andy. Just a bit of a pretty boring statty one, but looking at figures there, it's a limited participation, obviously, in the 2 rounds of Europe, but Leicester kicked more and gained more than anyone else. You're, I think, third and second of those metrics, and obviously you met each other, so it's vaguely relevant. I mean, given the Munster evidence, where you probably edged the kick and battle, Stade Francais obviously won it quite easily. You talk about you being an us, but there's a different us as well, or different you guys. So have you gained encouragement from all that, basically, in terms of facing this Leicester team, who will obviously bring a kind of maybe different point of difference, and you may have to adapt yourself in response to that?
Yeah, we've gained great confidence throughout the course of the year, David, because, as I said at the front end of the year, we have adjusted the way we're playing. And I think, wins like against the Munster win or the Stade Francais win, the 1 point bonus, or the 1 point bonus point, or the bonus point that we got away at Welford Road, just again cements and gives the players confidence that what we're trying to do is right. So with every game, I do believe we are gaining confidence with that. We do have a very different style to Leicester Tigers. It's pretty evident for anyone who chooses to sit down and watch the two game styles. Both are successful in their own way. Leicester's is probably more successful than ours, but they've had another year and a bit doing it. So it's going to be a great challenge for us, and it's that's the beauty of the game of rugby. You can play it in many different ways, and it's normally down to the team who perfects their style better than the opposition that tends to win it. So that was them at Welford Road a few weeks ago. Hopefully, it's us this weekend against them at the sports ground.
Yeah, that's the key, though. Like, watching Welford from afar, you kind of think, oh, very predictable what happened there when they bring on the cavalry. I mean, I suppose the pinch point for you guys now is to, when those crucial moments come, when it's 8-man rugby, you know what I mean? That you guys can, gain parity, or at least not, implode is the wrong word, but not suffer those pinch points where the game can just disappear in a minute and a half.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. You're right there, David. So, we've worked really hard. Diovolt Senegal's worked really hard with the forward pack since then. We just come off the field there where we had a really good session, but more importantly, we had a really good set piece session at the tail end of it, where some really good learns were installed, and it's now up to us to deliver that on Saturday. Matthew Raynell's our referee. That's going to be a tough job, because when they hit, they chase their feet. You're not getting stability in the scrum as we probably do in the URC. So we've got to meet fire with that. I do believe we've got the pack that can do that, and if we can get parity in our set piece, I think we're going to have enough there that's going to make life difficult for them. Thanks, mate.
Hi, Andy. How's it going?
Good.
Just on Kieran Marmion, he's kind of been delivering consistently for you all season, really, but he was really to the fore against Munster kind of last time out. We talk about the young players in your squad a lot, but it must also be really pleasing to see one of the senior members in the group kind of continue to push himself and improve his game. Yeah,
I think he's been outstanding all year, Kieran, and I think Munster was another really good performance where, Craig Casey, we know, has been in that Irish squad. Kieran, like any young player, wants to play against the incumbent, and I thought he performed really, really well. I thought Kieran did very well in that game. I said to the players afterwards, I thought our senior players really stood up. I thought Bundy was outstanding in that game. Maybe not a classic Bundy game in terms of carries and offloads and all the rest of it, but his work rate at the breakdown, his work rate in the tackle, the voice that he gave the team was outstanding. Jared Butler, you wouldn't have seen many big stats from him, but if you choose to watch the game very closely, he just popped up in the right spots all the time and made his tackles and plugged holes for us and carried when he needed to carry and got rid of opposition threats over our ball when he needed to do that. So I thought our senior blokes were very, very good in that game, and we're going to need that again. And Kieran's one at the moment who's definitely playing some of the best rugby I've seen him play since I've been here.
It's been a while since his last cap at test level, but with Six Nations fast approaching, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about other guys, but you must feel Kieran's kind of pushing to be part of that conversation now.
He's got huge ambition, as do all these boys do. It's one of the things that as a club we pride ourselves on, our ambition and our belief that we can get there. And Kieran's showing that at the moment. Like, he's got huge ambition to wear that green jersey again, not the Connacht green, the Irish green. And again, this weekend, he knows full well that that's a great stage for him to go and put out another really good performance. So, I'm excited to watch him. I think he's full of confidence at the moment, and he's getting back to that running game that when I first saw him play, which was when I was interviewing for the job, and I watched the 15-16 final and what he did there. I thought this bloke's unbelievable, and he's back to getting that running game going, which makes him an unbelievably talented footballer.
Great, thanks, Andy.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, guys, we will leave it there then. Thanks very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andy. Cheers. Thanks, Stephen.